What's going on, y'all? Dre here, blockchain yogi, health and wealth dad, DeAndre, whatever you want to call me. Doesn't matter at this point. All that matters is trying your best to get Bitcoin. I've been slowly investing into Bitcoin, dollar cost averaging, and I've been speaking a lot to my, my fellow friends, family, and, even people that I talk to on social media about Bitcoin, the purpose of it, and why I think owning it is something that's really valuable for your long-term growth and aspirations in life. One key factor of Bitcoin is that, let's do some purposes of Bitcoin, right? It's peer-to-peer. What does that mean? Peer-to-peer means that if I want to send money from the United States where I'm currently located, and I want to send someone, like I have a friend who lives in India, right? If I want to send money to them, instead of going through Western Union or, doing some other remittance situation, paying high fees and with the whole process, I have to do that, or I have to, go to PayPal or things of that sort, or communicate with my bank in order to make that, say if I want to send $100 to that person in India, then I have to go through those third parties. And oftentimes you don't want to go through a third party. You don't want to have to, sometimes you want to be anonymous and not have to go through those situations. So with Bitcoin, or sending that peer-to-peer transaction, I can send $100 in Bitcoin to my friend in India, or to my friend who lives in Ghana, and to my friend who lives in Germany. I have many people and many friends that live around the world, and oftentimes, we want to have this medium of exchange where, say, as a gift, like, hey, it's your birthday coming up. Here's the gift. I want to give cryptocurrency to you. I want to give you this currency that's going to help you, and as a present or as a medium of exchange, because say I taught someone how to trade, or I gave tips to people who helped me in certain situations where I can do that for very low cost, quick speed, with no third party. My bank didn't have to get involved. Any other financial service didn't have to get involved. Strictly peer-to-peer, me to that said person. So that's what Bitcoin offers it in this protocol. Bitcoin is really helpful for that medium of exchange and peer-to-peer transactions. Two, with Bitcoin, there's a unit of account, and this unit of account really helps in the aspect of, say a Bitcoin becomes legal tender. And what does that mean? That means you can use it for everyday purchases, just like we use the US dollar. Since I'm currently in the US, you may live somewhere else in the world and spend, the peso, or you might spend the euro, or any other, the Canadian dollar. Wherever you live in the world, you're going to spend that local currency. I live in the United States, so I'm going to spend US dollar. US dollar is currently the strongest dollar in the world, or at least it has the most power, because all nations, or pretty much all nations, use the US dollar in the medium of exchange, and as a unit of account. So that unit of account means I can buy anything, any product. Say this mouse that I have, I can this mouse would be, say, a couple dollars, say $5. And say it's $5 at the store, I'm going to spend $5 US. Now I have that unit of account. I know what that means. I'm going to spend those $5. Now, if Bitcoin becomes legal tender, or it would denote as, so one Bitcoin right now is worth $62,904. So $62 for one Bitcoin. Now, obviously, I'm not going to spend one whole Bitcoin on this, but luckily we know the unit of account measure. We know that it's divisible, and we can break those Bitcoins into smaller units. So instead of 62,000 for this, you can break it down into the smaller units, which would be 0.000, 1 something. I don't know. But it'll be broken down into those measurements. Back in the day when money was being formed from the barter system to gold and all those things, people would sell beads, for instance. Say beads were a medium of exchange or money. People use beads as money. So it was hard to have this as a unit of account because, these could be in many different shapes and sizes. You would have to weigh them. Some person may not see the value in a certain thing. And so it was really hard for this to be a unit of account. But with currency, say like the dollar or with Bitcoin, we know that $1 equals $1. We know that 1 Bitcoin represents 1 Bitcoin. With beads, it's really hard to say this was, this piece right here was bigger than the other piece. How would you wouldn't be able to correctly measure it. So some person can maybe scam you or say, hey, oh yeah, this one is worth $5 and then this one is worth $10. Man, but they look the freaking same, So that is that standard that, this newer money is better and has that whole unit of account aspect with it. Another thing with Bitcoin and why it's really important and why that, I think that people should hold it long term. And this is because the store of value aspect. Store of value means how long throughout time can this asset class last. Bitcoin is perceived to last many, generations. So even possibly 100 years plus, it can last. It holds and maintains its store of value. Why? Because it's durable. It has the aspect of appreciating over time, so it doesn't erode. First of all, it doesn't physically erode because it's digital. It's on the blockchain. It's on the internet. So there's no physical erosion like let's say a certain commodity will erode over time. Or a certain, say a property can burn in a fire, or, even with say, even a stock or whatever. Sometimes that, there's some bad businesses, or bad business people within the business, business within the business. That's funny. And, a company can go bankrupt. So you have those different type of assets or different type of situations that can make the asset less valuable. And then we have inflation, which is the key part in why the dollar isn't a great store of value. Certain commodities aren't really a great store of value just because inflation, the monetary inflation rate is like 7 to 8%, right? And so we have to beat that inflation. That means that, so I did the calculation, or I asked AI to do the calculation for me. What would $1 million be? $1 million in U.S. cash be in 40 years? Like the value, how much money or how much purchasing power would this $100 today, in today's money, would be in 40 years? And then that number was striking. It was $300,000. That means I lost so much equity. I lost so much value and purchasing power from inflation alone. And so inflation eats at our money. And not only do we have inflation, we have taxation. So not only when we're working, spending our hard-earned time and money, all the leftovers from our bills and everything, it has to go somewhere. Either most people will spend time in liabilities, spending it on random stuff or cars, jewelry, whatever, wherever the case may be. People may spend it there, and then some smart people or people who consider it, wants to make their money make more money, they'll put it into certain assets, or they may want to put it in the bank account. But if they put it in the bank account, that money slowly burns over time just because of inflation. So we get inflation, and then we get taxed on our own money that we worked so hard on. So Bitcoin helps with that as a store of value because throughout time, throughout the, since inception, it has grown and compounded over time, even beating the S&P 500 and gold. It has outperformed all asset classes, commodities, equities, real estate. It has compounded over time. And so it holds as a store of value. There's no one that can, change the code. There's no one that can take it away from you. There's no, centralized bank. There's no, centralized person, like some big evil person, Rothschild. There's no one, no entity that can take that away from you. And so when you're parking your money in a bank, it's like an IOU. You're giving your hard-earned money to the bank for them to use it to loan that money out to other people, or they use it to, invest in, say, the foreign exchange market, or use it for other investments. And so the money that you're lending your money to them to hold so they can use it to better their own pockets. Why not do it yourself? Why not invest your cash instead of putting your cash into a savings, which is going to lose money with inflation and taxation? Why not invest and use, put your money to work, to actual work? You work hard. Your physical body works hard, so hard, and you want to be able to, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Why spend so much energy and time and attention with, your physical body or your mind through work, your 9 to 5, and then the money that you get, you're not having that work for you? So if you put your money in the bank account, you hold it there. Now, banks are great for, taking out loans. Banks are great for using it for emergency funds. But if you're holding it, if you're holding cash in there for savings purposes, for value or for growth, you're going to lose your purchasing power. You're going to lose your wealth slowly. Matter of fact, it's not even slowly anymore. It's a fast burn. You're losing your money fast. In the next 100 years, pretty much the US dollar is going to lose, or your cash is going to lose over 95%, 99% of its purchasing power, of its wealth. So you're going to lose 99% of your wealth if you held that into certain asset classes, or if you held it in the bank, you're for sure losing all your money. But if you put it in certain different asset classes, then you may be on par with it. You may just be break even, or you may just earn, a couple of percentage, points over, a few basis points over. But if you put your money into an asset class such as Bitcoin, then, you're in the great financial situation that you can be in. And it's really important to learn about Bitcoin and share its value. And so I recommend people, I'm not a financial advisor, but I recommend people just to learn about Bitcoin a little bit more and take part in this whole journey, within yourself, and ask yourself, why will I have other people hold my money? Why not, hold your own, your keys, your own financial future? This is for you and your family. You want to be able to give your children or your family members or yourself, wealth. And if you own Bitcoin or you consider other things like equities or real estate, all of those different things, which can help you to better be in a better financial state. But me personally, I want to invest in more Bitcoin as much as possible. So how much is a good amount? As much as you can, right? But if you can spend at least $60 on Bitcoin, it will put you in the top 45% of the world who owns Bitcoin. So if you own $60, or right now, since Bitcoin is up now, that was like yesterday when I did the numbers. If you own probably $75 worth of Bitcoin today, it will put you in the top 45% of Bitcoin, holders. And why is this important? Because there is 21 million Bitcoins in existence. So think about gold. There's only so much gold in the world. There's more gold that we can have. You know, we can mine it, dig it up, but it's so costly, so time consuming, and, you know, that can get expensive. And with that, you know, the supply goes up, so it becomes slowly, you know, like 2% each year. It becomes slowly, less valuable as time goes on. With fiat currencies, the US dollar, of course, as time goes on, you drastically lose value. With Bitcoin, you're not going to lose value because there's only 21 million in existence. With the dollar, you can inflate it, hyperinflate it, just keep adding, keep printing. You know, take, for example, you know, shoes or anything that you enjoy. Say you want to buy, you know, there's many people who like certain shoes, like Jordans, for instance. And, you know, you're looking online, you want to find, oh, this is the rarest Jordans. It just came out. There's only 20 of them. Oh, perfect. You know, 20 of them, they're probably worth like freaking $1,200. I don't know. I'm not in the shoe game. Say if there's 20 of them in existence, you know, you're happy that, you know, you bought them, you spent $1,200, you're happy. Perfect. I got them. Great. Now, what if the next day they said, you know what, we're going to print, or we're going to make, you know, 10,000 of these and by tomorrow, and then another 10,000, another 10,000. Now you're like, your shoes doesn't look too, you know, too rare. You see someone else who lives across the street from you also has the Jordans, and you see your mom has the Jordans too. And so it has been inflated and it has become less valuable. Bitcoin has 21 million supply. That's all it will ever have. Therefore, it's going to be valuable and it's going to stand the test of time, which makes it a store of value. It compounds year after year. You know, of course, there's always, just like the stock market, there's down years, but overall, there's been accumulated, you know, interest gain on your money. So that's why it's a store of value. Medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value. And those are just the basics of Bitcoin and how it's valuable to you and how it can be valuable to your family, and why I consider, you know, holding it for long-term wealth building, for, you know, using it as a currency. You know, I can send money to people with no, you know, with no authority over my head. I can send money to people, no problem. It's permissionless. I could take out a loan against my own money. What can you do that? You have to go to the bank, try to take out, you know, my wife, she had a difficult time where she didn't have her ID at the bank, and they turned her away because obviously you can't get money if you don't have an ID. With blockchain technology, with Bitcoin, you don't need that. You know, obviously you need your account in your hand. You need to sign the signature or whatever, but it's you doing it. It's you. So it's permissionless. It's anonymous. It's courageous. It's secure. Bitcoin is the building blocks for financial energy, for financial stability. Bitcoin will help. So I recommend getting as much Bitcoin as you can. But if you can get 0.001, which is about $75, right? 0.001 or 0.001, whatever. I don't know. I got to do the math now. But if you can get $75 worth right now of Bitcoin, you'll be in the top 45% of people in the world. Now, you may not think 45%, but you're thinking, if there's 21 million Bitcoin in existence, all the millionaires and billionaires want to have the piece of that, right? There's 8 billion people in the world. And if there's something that is scarce and as valuable as something that, you know, people consider valuable, even institutions, there's only 21 million of it. And even less than, because other people are, you know, some has gotten lost, some has gotten, you know, forgotten, you know, like the creator just vanished, you know, the person who created it just vanished. And so there's even less supply. There's even less to go around in the world. And more is going to be, as time goes on, less is going to be, in existence. Because people are going to want to hold this, just like gold. People are going to hold it over a long period of time. And so that's why it's very important. Even if you have $75 worth or $50 worth, you're going to hold a percentage of that, which is a very, very scarce asset. So scarce that there's only 21 million of them. Less than 21 million of them. There's probably 17 million now that can be, exchanged, utilized, held. So you owning a slice of Bitcoin will put you as one of the wealthiest people in the world, simply because there's only so much of it. So scarce. Institutions want it. No matter what country, they're all thinking about Bitcoin. The U.S., BlackRock, Bitcoin. U.S. stock, companies on the exchange, stock market exchange, NASDAQ, they want Bitcoin. Hong Kong, China, many different other countries, Bitcoin. They want Bitcoin. They want to hold this scarce, valuable asset because it holds value over a period of time. They know that the U.S. dollar, billionaires, millionaires, they know that if they put their money into a bank account, that it will go to waste. They'll lose all their hard work, ripping people off, Anyway, they'll lose all that hard work that they did, ripping people off, stealing money, money laundering, all those type of things, cruel things that some people do, some billionaires do to get that wealth. And of course, they, a lot of them do hard work. And to get to that stage, you have to do hard work. But a lot of it also is, bad business. But even then, they don't want that bad, that money that came from bad business or good business. They don't want that to go to waste. So they put it in assets like real estate, equities like the stock market, art, many other, fancy, cars, certain cars that holds value over time, watches, Rolexes, things of that sort that has been either growing in value or they can make, say income off of it, quick profits over a period of time. Because if they knew that if they just store it in the bank or store it in their mattress, they're going to lose that money over time. And their wealth is going to depreciate and they just spending time for nothing. So now they have invested into this currency that has helped them build wealth over time and increase their, their wealth. So this is the wealth transfer. This is what we need as common people, as common everyday people to take a part of, because it's going to not only help ourselves, it's going to help our family. Imagine your children or your children's children, like your great grandchildren or your great grandchildren will look back and say, wow, I'm so happy that, Dre bought Bitcoin. I'm so happy that my great aunt, Melissa bought Bitcoin, because now I'm in the top 10% of Bitcoin holders in the world. The US dollar is already gone. I'm thinking like 100 years from now, or even freaking 50 years from now, they're going to be so happy that you made a decision to invest into your own self. It's hard, if you gave them artwork, it's hard to give artwork to generations and to generations to generations. It's hard to give real estate property to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation. Your freaking children may have sold it. I mean, obviously they can sell their Bitcoin too. I'm rich. I got $400,000, worth in Bitcoin. Say, it's not measured in dollars anymore at that point. Maybe it just measured in, Bitcoin or Satoshis. But you can, they'll be happy that they have, say, 2 Bitcoin. They'll be so happy, and they might spend it, who knows, but at least they'll know, if they understand where society is. If you teach the next generation about money, how it evolved, how it depreciates, all of these things, then the next generations, after you and after them may have better decision making and hold that store of value. And so Bitcoin, try to get at least $75 worth. It'll put you in the top 45% in the world. Out of 8 billion people, you'll be one of those people who hold 45% of the wealth. Imagine holding 45% of the wealth in the entire world just by holding $75 of Bitcoin. Now, you say, how is it going to, might not get, a big return on investment? But 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, that's going to grow. Stop thinking about just yourself. Thinking about your future. Think about your family. They're going to benefit from that. And obviously, if you invest more or spend time learning about Bitcoin more, you will understand more, you will invest more, and you will appreciate it more. Hope you guys think about Bitcoin. Peace.